You walk into a hospital, maybe for a checkup, maybe to visit someone, or maybe because it's an emergency.
But the moment someone speaks English to you, your mind suddenly goes blank.
How do I explain my problem? How do I talk to the doctor? How do I ask for medicine or understand what the nurse is saying?
And that's exactly why today's episode is going to be incredibly useful for you.
Because today, inside the English Cafe, we're taking you straight into a real-life hospital conversation experience, just like you would hear in places like Los Angeles, New York City, or Chicago.
You'll learn natural American English conversations used inside hospitals, from reception desk conversations to talking with doctors, nurses, patients, and even asking for help in emergencies.
And the best part is, this is not boring textbook English.
Exactly. This is real spoken English, the kind of English native speakers actually use every single day.
So if you ever travel abroad, go for Umrah, work in another country, or simply want to speak fluent English confidently, this video can genuinely help you.
And today's conversation is extra powerful because along with the dialogue, we'll also explain useful expressions, feelings, reactions, and practical sentences you can start using immediately. So don't just watch this video once. Replay it, repeat the sentences, shadow our pronunciation, and practice speaking with us.
Because fluency doesn't come from only studying English, it comes from hearing real conversations again and again.
And if you're new here, welcome to the English Cafe, the place where English learning feels natural, practical, and enjoyable.
We create powerful English learning podcast episodes regularly to help you speak confidently in real-life situations.
So subscribe right now, turn on the notification bell, and become part of the English Cafe family.
All right, everyone, grab your coffee, relax, and get ready to enter today's real-life English conversation experience at the hospital, only on the English Cafe. Excuse me, we need help immediately. My friend was just in a serious car accident a few minutes ago near downtown Los Angeles, and ever since we arrived here, he's been complaining of chest pain, dizziness, and difficulty breathing. He's trying to stay conscious, but honestly, he looks really weak right now.
All right, sir. Stay calm for me, okay? We're going to help him as quickly as possible, but first I need some basic information so we can understand the situation clearly and prepare the emergency team properly. Can you please tell me his full name and exactly what happened during the accident?
His name is Daniel Parker, he's 28 years old, and another car suddenly hit him from the side while he was driving through an intersection. At first, he said he felt okay, but during the drive to the hospital, he became very quiet and started holding his chest like the pain was getting worse. That's when we got really scared.
Okay, thank you for explaining everything clearly. Right now, the most important thing is making sure he stays awake and calm while the doctors examine him and run a few emergency tests. Please try not to panic, because stress can sometimes make situations feel even frightening.
Guys, notice this sentence. Please try not to panic. Native English speakers usually use soft and calming language in hospitals instead of sounding aggressive or robotic.
Exactly. And instead of saying, "Don't be scared," a more natural and professional sentence would be, "Try not to panic," or "Try to stay calm."
Doctor, can I ask something honestly? His breathing seems heavier than before, and every few minutes he keeps saying his chest feels tighter and more painful. Do you think this could be something serious?
Right now, it's too early to make conclusions, but we definitely want to be careful. Chest pain after an accident can happen for different reasons, so the medical team will probably do a CT scan, blood tests, and a few other examinations just to understand the situation better. The important thing is that he's already here receiving treatment.
That expression, receiving treatment, sounds very natural. Instead of saying getting medical help, native English speakers often say receiving treatment, especially in hospitals and formal situations. It sounds smoother and more professional.
And another useful sentence here is, we want to be careful. Americans say this a lot because it sounds calmer and less dramatic than saying, this is dangerous.
Excuse me, he suddenly looks really uncomfortable. He says his shoulder hurts badly now, and he can barely move his arm with sharp pain going through it. Should we be worried about that too?
That kind of pain is actually very common after accidents, especially when the body starts reacting after the initial shock disappears. Right now, the doctors will probably check whether it's a muscle injury, a fracture, or damage around the shoulder joint area. That's why detailed scans are extremely important in situations like this.
Guys, listen carefully to this phrase. After the initial shock disappears. Very natural and advanced English. It means after the body's first emergency reaction slowly goes away and the person starts feeling the real pain more clearly.
And instead of saying, he feels pain now, native speakers often explain it naturally like this. Now the body is starting to react.
Honestly, hospitals always make me nervous. The machines, the emergency rooms, the sound of people rushing everywhere, everything feels stressful when someone you care about is lying there in pain. I don't even know what to think right now.
That feeling is completely normal. A lot of people become overwhelmed during emergencies because everything happens so quickly and there's so much uncertainty at the same time. But staying calm helps you communicate more clearly with doctors and medical staff.
That sentence was extremely useful. There's so much uncertainty. Native English speakers use the word uncertainty when they talk about situations where they don't know what's going to happen next. Very powerful vocabulary for emotional conversations.
And notice how natural this sounds. Everything happened so quickly. Simple English, but exactly the kind of sentence Americans use in real emotional situations.
Okay, the doctor just mentioned something about surgery, and honestly, that word immediately made me anxious. I know surgeries happen every day in hospitals, but when it's someone close to you, your mind automatically starts imagining worst-case scenarios. That's the part that scares people the most.
I completely understand that. But in many situations, surgery is simply the fastest and safest way to treat an injury properly before it becomes more serious later. That's why doctors carefully study scans and test results before making decisions like this.
Guys, notice this sentence structure. The fastest and safest way to treat an injury. Very natural English pattern. You can use the same structure in daily conversation, too.
For example, the easiest way to improve English, the best way to build confidence, the safest way to solve the problem. Native speakers use this style constantly.
Excuse me, doctor, before the surgery starts, can you explain what's going to happen exactly? He looks really nervous, and honestly, we just want to understand the situation step by step so we don't panic unnecessarily. A little explanation would really help.
Of course. First, the medical team will prepare the operating room and review all the final test results carefully to make sure everything is ready. After that, anesthesia will be given so he won't feel pain during the procedure itself.
That word, procedure, sounds extremely professional. Instead of repeating operation again and again, native English speakers often say procedure because it sounds smoother and more medical. Very common hospital vocabulary.
And notice this sentence too. A little explanation would really help. That's a very polite and natural way to ask someone for more information in English conversations.
Honestly, conversations like this are exactly why learning real spoken English matters so much. Textbook English teaches grammar, but situations like hospitals, airports, interviews, and emergencies require natural communication and emotional understanding too. That's where fluency actually becomes useful in real life.
Exactly. And if you continue listening to conversations like this again and again, your brain slowly becomes comfortable with natural sentence patterns, pronunciation, and emotional expressions used by native speakers every day. That's how real fluency starts developing naturally over time.
All right, everyone, that was today's hospital conversation episode. And honestly, this is the kind of English that can really help you in real-life situations, not just in exams, but during travel, work, emergencies, and daily conversations too.
Exactly. So don't just watch this video once and leave. Replay it, repeat the sentences with us, and try speaking along while listening. That's one of the best ways to improve your fluency naturally.
And tell us in the comments which sentence or part of today's conversation was the most useful for you, and what real-life conversation should we make next on the English Cafe?
Airport conversation? Hotel conversation? Job interview? Or maybe a pharmacy conversation?
Also, if you enjoyed this episode and want more powerful English learning podcast videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the English Cafe and turn on the notification bell.
Because every single video here is designed to help you understand real spoken English in a simple, natural, and realistic way.
Keep practicing every day. Keep listening to real English, and slowly, confidently, your English will improve step by step.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next episode of the English Cafe.